I'm giving away. Cookies!
How come you're not fat?
Now, I'm going to reveal something that I've never before revealed on television. All right? It's a miracle cookie. The more you eat, the thinner you get. Oh!
Okay, I'm gonna start. You ready?
Check me out. Check me out. Come on. Let's have a cookie eating.
All right.
They even sound good, you know?
You want to make it big in the West, you've got to be too good to resist. Like United, they've got great schedules and extra goodies like advanced check-in and low fares. Makes every trip a treat.
United flies throughout the West with over 190 flights a day.
With United's West Coast service, I can keep my business cooking and still stay in the chip.
Wally Amos, founder of Famous Amos Cookies.
Yeah! Back when I was regular Amos.
What's under the cloth?
We'll get to that.
Cookies. Bet you anything it's cookies.
It's cookies. Let me finish my speech first.
Oh, we get the gist. It's just success and effort, isn't it?
Famous. Hi, I'm sure you get ideas for new cookies all the time, but
Is it oatmeal with no raisins?
I'm sorry to have wasted your time.
Somebody big just died. Famous Amos Cookies founder Wally Amos is dead at 88 years old, and here to help eulogize him is my friend Mike North. Mike, how are you, my friend?
My friend, I haven't seen you for a while. It's good to see you, Mr. Joe Mandel.
Been a minute.
Yeah, it's been a minute. They go in blunt punches. You know what I mean? And then,
yeah,
you know, we were in a little bit of a cold streak, you know, but now we're back. And you know what? We got two wonderful people that were great at what they did. Wally Amos, Famous Amos, and of course, Peter Marshall. And then honorable mention, Gina Rowlands, who probably deserved her own show. But you know what? We had to make a decision. And you know what? I just said, basically, she just wasn't big enough anymore. But at one point she was, and we'll talk about that. But we can't do any of this without our great sponsors. Cumberland Chapels. Joe is impressed. I remembered. 8300 West Florence Avenue. Yes. All I needed was a little rest. Anthony Lupo, the Lupos, the Martinos. I mean, are you kidding me? These people are unbelievable. The people are nice. Dignity. Yes, that's what happens. Look at these testimonials. Great place. Plenty of parking. Plenty of chapels. Plenty of room. Takes up just like a whole block. There it is. And like I said, 8300 West Lawrence Avenue, Norwich, 708-456-8300. And then we have the great Pennyville station, Tino Antonacci, the ambassador of restaurants in Chicago. His son, the proprietor of this wonderful establishment, Tony Antonacci. Great food, great spirits, great time. Right across from the railroad station in Park Ridge, Illinois, ladies and gentlemen. And for all occasions, a private room if you need a private room. They're just, there I am with ESPN's Jesse Rogers, and there is Tony in the middle. God, you look back, those pictures look so old, and yet it wasn't that long ago. I've aged quite a
right?
bit. But yeah, I mean, I don't know.
You look younger, Mike. You look younger.
I feel good.
That's right.
You know, but you know what? We all want to have good runs, and these guys both had good runs. But first, we'll go to our buddy, Wally Amos. This was a guy who was an agent. This is what you don't hear on these other shows. This is why I wanted to do somebody big just died so we could tell the whole story. They don't even have this in his biographies. He was an agent for the William Morris Agency. He was one of the first black agent. You'd think that would be something big, something to tout.
It's a big deal.
Right? Back then. And the cool thing is, he was the agent for the Temptations, Marvin Gaye. There they are, Eddie Kendricks. My guy on the left, David Ruffin, one of the great soul singers of all time, ladies and gentlemen. Just a great, great group. And Marvin Gaye. I mean, these were top acts. And Wally Amos had what his aunt made was a cookie. And this cookie, he'd bring it around and stuff like that. And on advice from his friends in 1975, on a loan of 25 grand from his friends Marvin Gaye,
Wow.
and Helen Reddy, lent him $25,000. He put up a store. And I mean, he did like 300 grand in sales his first year in 75, then $1 million his second year
Wow.
in 1975.
Think about
Okay.
that, Mike. How much money was that back then? That's a lot of money.
You don't have to tell me I was in the business. Me and B were in the business at that time. We did pretty good, but nothing like that. That was insane. So, it was really on Sunset Boulevard, which you want to talk about location and high rent, okay? But by 84, sales had started to slump. Now, during the heyday, this guy was on TV shows.
Oh, yeah.
As we saw, he did commercials. He was an entrepreneur. Let's see what we got here. Look at him here with the cookie. And the cookies were small. And
Yeah.
I'll be
Still
honest
are.
with you. Yeah. And I had one. My wife, anybody's had BB's cookies knows this. Her cookies are 10 times better. But what this
Oh,
guy
sure.
did is he marketed. He had a cool name, Famous Amos. You'd see him on TV. He was on TV shows. He was on the news. He was a great promoter. I love guys like this. Now, after it hit the slump, he sold it. And, it's been a couple different brands, okay? And it's been out in Europe and stuff. But Kellogg's is a previous owner. They were owners of Keebler Cookies also. So he did absolutely outstanding. This is him on, they're talking about him on The Office. I mean, this is great stuff.
Yeah. He was all over the place.
He was more famous for him than people. I never heard people call him. He had the Famous Amos cookies. He was a brand unto himself, as you can see. And God bless him, man. I mean, he was absolutely outstanding. And I just like how he did everything. He had a good packaging system. This is right up my alley, the food business. Everything seemed to work for him. And, there he is with Andy Warhol. I mean, you got to be kidding me. These were famous people. And there he is on those
Shark Tank.
The Shark Tank. He's got the square named after him. Forget about his street. He just, knew how he was cool looking dude. Look at that. He just fit. Everything just fit for the guy. And I couldn't be happier for the guy. So, I don't have a lot of other information on him, Joe. I don't know if you had any more information on him.
I know he lost a big part of his company, and he formed his new company. I think it's called Cookie Kahuna or something along the line. That's why he was on Shark Tank. No, he was never as big, but he did make an appearance on Shark Tank. The guy was a larger-than-life individual, and I think more people these days, like you said, know him from The Office than anything else.
And he was on other things too. And now, you know what? Then he did these commercials, like you said, and like you showed here on this deal. So, I mean, he introduced the cookie 49 years ago, and it's still going on. But that's good marketing too, and a good branding more than a good product. And sooner or later, you're going to hit a slump. But he made his money. He got out while the going was good. I know he went through some tough times, but you know what? It worked out for him. And I admire a guy like this. So, as far as I'm concerned, God bless Wally Amos, who recently just passed. And you know what? We had to have him on because
everybody knows what Famous Amos.
I knew it right away. I mean, Joe and I have been saying we there were some people we turned down recently.
Yeah.
And
Well,
Joe and I would talk about it. You know,
Mike texted me the other night, and I was in a concert with terrible service, and I come out, and he's like, Famous Amos. I'm like, the cookie guy, Famous Amos?
The cookie guy. That's right.
He's like, yeah. I'm like, all right, let's do it.
So anyway, to the Amos family, to Wally Amos's family, and to anybody that might be around, we would like to say, you know, our prayers are with you. God bless. Now, we have an honorable mention also. And if I can, I'm going to try to get to all my information on this great girl, because she was a great actress, number one. Married to John Cassavetes, Gina Rowlands. There she is. And Gina Rowlands was great, man, at what she did. Let me get this. Gina Rowlands.
4-time Emmy winner, 2-time Golden Globe winner. I mean, just talk about someone that had a career that spanned a long time. I mean, she was active pretty much from like the early 50s up until, I don't know, late, probably, I'm going to guess probably 2015, I think she said she retired. Yeah.
Yeah. Gina Rowlands. Yeah, I got her, thank God, because you know what? I have to talk about this woman real quick. John Cassavetes was her husband, and they were married for a long, long time. And Gina Rowlands was a great actress, no doubt about it. And she was, she was like, how would you say, an underrated, hot-looking girl. She really was.
She was an under the radar, but she was always good looking. But the thing with her, Mike, is she was always that fierce actress in everything that she was in.
Yeah, and she was she'll be missed by everybody. And I know that they had a good thing going, her and Cassavetes, and she died of usually we talk about this, Gina Rowlands dying, and we don't know of natural causes. She died of Alzheimer's. So to the Rowlands family.
I just wanted to chime in real quick on that, Mike. Ironically, most people nowadays know her from the movie The Notebook, in which she played a character with Alzheimer's, and then she passed away from the same thing, which I think is just wild.
Yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, that's a reality in our life right now. And you know what? The Gina Rowlands family, we give her an honorable mention on somebody big just died. And now we're going to go to the open again, if you will, sponsored by Cumberland Chapels and by Pennyville Station. We will be doing the life of Peter Marshall.
For $250, Paul, true or false? Your teeth are about the same size and shape as a pig's.
Look who's talking, beaver face.
The original master of the Hollywood Squares was going to be our center square for a week. I thought, what a wasted opportunity if we just let him sit cozily in the center square. So I asked Peter a question, which I'll recreate for you now. Peter, you ready to retake the podium?
No, I'm not.
Okay, what the hey?
Yeah?
Yeah, why not?
Stay tuned. Peter Marshall back as host of Hollywood Squares.
All right, my friend. Thank you. Thank you, Tom. All righty.
And here is today's host, the master of the Hollywood Squares, Peter Marshall.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. And welcome to the Hollywood Squares. Hello, stars.
Hello, Peter.
Good to see each and every one of you. Don't touch that dial. This is not the Game Show Network. No. It's me after 102 years.
And it was easy for me. It's the easiest thing I have ever done in show business. No rehearsal. I walked in and said, hello, stars. I read questions and laughed. And I got paid wonderfully well. People said, do the stars know the answers? No. That would take the fun out of it. It's a bluff show. They would give them bluffs, and they would give them jokes. And not everybody got jokes. Goebel got no jokes. Cliff very rarely got a joke. Wally wouldn't accept a joke. Paul, and but it was a show that worked. It was easy for me because I had been part of Tommy Noonan and Marshall and Farrell. I had been a straight man. And so working with comics was easy for me. It was the easiest thing I've ever done.
Somebody big just died. Peter Marshall, the host of Hollywood Squares, is dead at 98 years old. Here to help eulogize him is my friend Mike North.
Oh,
Mike, welcome back, my friend.
As a kid that cut school all the time and spent many days at home, my mom would leave the house, Joe, and I'd be on the, in the gangway. She'd be going to work at the high school, by the way, that I was supposed to be at. And then I would sneak back upstairs and watch, Password with Alan Ludden and The Dating Game with Jim Lang and Camouflage with Art James and, Monty Hall with, Let's Make a Deal. And yes, Peter Marshall, who was as good as it gets, folks. I want to throw Bob Eubanks in there from the Newlywed Game. I'm not trying to slight anybody here, ladies and gentlemen. They were my lifeblood. You learned a lot. I learned more. This is the truth, folks. And people that know me know this. I learned more watching all those game shows daily than going to school. I learned more just from the questions and answers about what was going on, current events, and everything else.
Oh, yeah.
But what was cool was the Hollywood Squares, the way they did it like tic-tac-toe. And he made the thing run, but it was star-driven. You had guys like Paul Lynde, Cliff Arquette, who played Charlie Weaver. You had George Goebel. Yeah, Zsa Zsa Gabor, Ava Gabor. John Davidson, there he is with Peter Marshall. Alex Trebek, right there. The guy was part of a comedy act. He was a straight man, and Peter Marshall dying was just a shock. But when somebody dies, it's always a shock. And then you got to get your wits about you, and you need help to get those wits about you.
You do.
Joe knows what I'm going to do. Yeah,
I know.
I want my wits. And who helps me keep my wits? Cumberland Chapels. That's right. Pete and Louis Martino, Tony Lupo Sr. and Jr. 708-456-8300, serving families with dignity and grace. I mean, from beginning to end, they'll get you the right deal, take care of the right package. They won't take advantage of you. You don't be around as long as they have. You don't own the whole block if you're not straight shooters. And that's what they are. There it is, Cumberland Chapels.
Beautiful.
Everybody in that area. I mean, even Sebastian Maniscalco's used them in his act.
Yep.
800 West Lawrence Avenue, Norridge, Illinois. And then you got Tony Antonacci's Pennyville Station, which is outstanding. You know what, man? I mean, it's already 6 years old. And they've done a great job over there. The food is outstanding. The spirits are great, fun, great time, great bar area. So check those guys out at 112 Main Street, right across from from the station there in downtown Park Ridge, from the train station. There I am with my buddy Jesse Rogers, and there's Tony. Just a great time. I'll have to get out there real soon and see him again. That's Pennyville Station. He was born Ralph Peter Lecoq, March 30th, 1926. Dies August 16th, 2024 at 98.
98. Whew.
Sign
me up for that right now.
Oh, I'll take it. And you know what? He was in the U.S. Army. He was a disc jockey for the Army at the station, so he had pretty good. He was supposed to be an artillery. He was known as an actor, singer, TV guy, radio personality. His years active, 1950. Listen to this. I was born in 52, and I'm an old codger now, folks. 1950 to 2021.
Jeez.
So you're talking 71 years. There he is with Barbara Eden, Baby, I Dream of Jeannie. Oh, you're making me cry. Dick Van Dyke. Ageless, for God's sake. There he is. There's Pete. I watched from the right field bleachers. I watched him play right field. I watched him play first base. Pete Lecoq, Tom Bergeron does a good job, but he has never replaced Peter Marshall. He's never replaced. Yeah. When you start taking pictures like that, the end is near.
Yeah.
You know, Joe, with the mouth open. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
When you start, there he is. Look at him, a young man with his son, who's a good ball player. Not bad for our Cubbies. Played a few years with them, and I think he played for the Royals. So that was. I didn't know if you knew that, Joe. I was.
You know, I made the connection. I just never.
Right.
I never realized that was his dad.
Yeah, yeah, and he was the original host of the Hollywood Square from '66 to '81.
Although, Mike, did you know on the pilot he was not the host on the
no,
pilot?
No, with Bert Parks.
Yeah,
Miss America.
Yeah,
Joe's impressed. I did my homework without.
He did.
For Christ's sake, absolutely. So, yeah. How
I
about
felt
that?
good with that. I felt good with that nugget, Mike, and you already knew it. I was like,
you know, hey, you know me. I lean on some pertinent points. I read that. I go, wow, Bert Parks. He was an MC. He was good at what he does, and I think he would have done a good job. And Peter Marshall said it's the best job he ever had. It's great. It would. He didn't have to prepare for anything.
It was easy for him.
Yeah, it was so easy. Everything was written. You don't have to memorize anything. It was a great concept. Charo was on. Paul Lynn was fantastic as the center square. I mean, it was just a great vehicle for those guys. It was just wonderful. Charles Nelson Riley was on. All these guys, you know, were on different shows. And just funny stuff that I grew up with, you know. So great job. But he also he did other work, Joe. But you know what? It was all like, okay, he's doing some bits in TV, you know. He published a book about his experiences in 2002 in Hollywood. But you know what? He did theater. You know, he was married 3 times. He had caught COVID, lost his son, one of his kids, through COVID too, also. So he won a daytime Emmy 4 times. See, I looked at his bio. And the rest of the stuff compared to Hollywood Square, maybe he wouldn't like me saying this, but he's dead.
He is.
Yeah, he's dead. And he's being honored, you know, because it deservedly so is one of the top guys. But seriously, Hollywood Square's his career on that show dwarfs everything, doesn't it?
That's the career.
That's why he's here.
That's why he's here.
He does this other stuff and doesn't do Hollywood Square. He ain't on somebody big just
He's not on the show. I mean, everybody knows Hollywood Squares.
Yeah. And he did other things. He did some movies, and he did, you know, from the 60s to the 80s, a few movies and stuff like that, but nothing really big. So that's basically what he's known by as far as everything is, you know, and Tom Bergeron's done a good job, and it's been one hell of a vehicle.
Yeah.
And you know what? He had his name on the marquee at the Sahara Old School Hotel. So you know what? All I want to say is that to Peter Marshall and to his family and to Peter and his kids and his name, I always wondered, why is it Pete Lecoq? And, his dad's Peter Marshall. And I didn't know that. I thought maybe there was a divorce or something like that. But I guess if your name's Lecoq, you change it to Peter Marshall.
It's probably a good idea if you're in the entertainment
Especially
industry.
if you're in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, you're in a porn. Who knows? They're
I was going to say, it sounds like a porn star name for sure.
It does sound like a porn star, but he wasn't. He was an all-time great. And you know what? We want to wish him all the best. And to Peter Marshall and his family. Joe, any parting words before I say goodbye to everybody?
No, just
good
Peter
to be
Marshall,
back.
It's good to be back. It's Peter Marshall was just one of those voices that you can still hear in your head. So
yeah,
just an iconic voiceover guy. And it's funny because he was on TV, but I hear the voice and I think it's him right away.
You can recognize him right away, and we recognize him here. And somebody big just died. We want to thank our sponsors, Cumberland Chapels and Pennyville Station, and we want to thank our honorees because you were big enough to be on this show. And there have been some lately people turned down, or just even the great Gina Rowlands. God bless. Got honorable mention to Wally Amos and to Peter Marshall. God bless, and we'll see everybody next time here on Somebody Big Just Died. See ya.